Oh,
Stiff today.
we're back. Did you miss us? No, not too much. A little bit. What did you think about behind the scenes with Penny Mitch's wedding? Slightly traumatic for me to watch. Definitely bad angles for me. But a really good video that you shot.
It was. There was a few things will change next time. So where the shutter came down for the photos, I was in a rush. They were supposed to show the photos of what we took, but next time we'll
Like the
sort that out.
photos. Yeah.
I was, because we were in such a rush, I had to do that, get that up just before we go into a wedding. But
We were under the gun. We thought we'd bring you outside again today because, look, I'll be honest with you, it's freezing.
I like it.
It's freezing in our office.
I love this weather.
I know, because you're English.
Just love it.
I was
It's just
born in Australia.
beautiful.
I'm used to hot weather.
But you were born in Bendigo, and that's cold.
Oh, I know, but I've adapted.
And you're Dutch by heritage. And it's cold there too.
It is. I've never been to Holland. Okay, so
What are we talking about? We're just going to ramble.
we're going to ramble. This is probably kind of, you're going to find it weird that we're talking about this. And you're probably going to look at this and assume that we're just going to give you a massive genderized podcast, but we're not. We're going to talk about how to pick the right photographer for you. And I want to start this off by saying, you know what, we might not be the right photographer for you. And that's okay. We're not, we don't have to be right for everyone. We just have to be right for the clients that choose us. And I think it's a pretty daunting process picking a photographer, isn't it?
I think so, because there's so many options,
Yeah.
so many different prices, so many different styles.
And I know, like, you'll put a shout out on Facebook for recommendations and you'll get
like 50 of
50
them.
recommendations. How do you pick? And obviously you can see photos and that's always a really good way of looking. But I guess probably being in the industry, I would say that there's a lot more to picking your photographer than just looking at the photos. So I guess one of the first things that you need to look at is you need to ask your photographer about what equipment do they use.
Reckon?
Yeah.
I think that's, for me, if I was picking a photographer, I'd want to know if they're using cameras with 2 SD card slots.
Yeah.
I think that is
Essential.
first thing
Yeah.
so that way they've got
The
a
backup.
backup.
Yeah. If both their cameras that they're running on the wedding have 2 SD slots in them. So SD slots are the little where the memory cards go in the camera. And it's set up so that if one fails, the other one's still collecting all the data.
So your chances of
Losing
going wrong are
stuff
much
is-
less.
Yep. Second thing to ask is what type of lenses do they have? Do they have more than one lens or 2 lenses? Lenses really, I think lenses make or break the photos.
Yeah, so the eye of the camera.
Is the eye of the camera, yeah, and it makes or breaks the photo. So, yeah, like do they have a variety of lenses that they use? What brand of camera are they shooting on? How old is their camera? There's a lot of different questions around that is really worthwhile asking because, and again, going to be controversial here. I think that for a wedding, you have to invest in the best possible equipment because you just cannot leave any possibility of anything going wrong.
Agreed.
It's just too big a risk. Like, family photos, engagement photos, all of that.
That can be redone.
Can be redone if your camera breaks or something happens. But a wedding,
You can't go back.
there's
and
no
redo it.
going back. And so if you're still running old gear, it's a risk, and is that a risk you're willing to take with these memories that you only get one shot at? So,
Also, I'd say, how long have they been doing it for?
Yeah.
How much experience have
but
they
then
got?
we've only been in the industry for like 4 years.
Well, that's a long time now.
It is a long time. Maybe not so much how long have they been doing it for, but how many weddings have they shot?
Yeah.
Might be a better question. And how many weddings have they shot solo, like as lead? I know when I started as a second shooter and I had to work my way up to being lead shooter. Not so much for not being able to take a photo, but more of a competence thing.
Sorry, we're in the park. Very near a playground.
Yeah,
There's
which is
kids
fun.
playing. That's what that
Beautiful.
noise
Yeah.
was. It wasn't a crow. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that, you know, how many weddings has your photographer shot solo or lead? Yeah, and then finally talk to your photographer, you know. How do you gel with them? Is their personality one that you're going to feel comfortable with on the day? You need someone that a good wedding photographer can take charge. Well, they have to, really, because if you don't take charge of the day takes charge of you.
Oh, yeah. And that's what we're always telling our team, aren't we? Like, you cannot just let things fall out of control. You have to be in control all the time.
Because for those of you that have been married, you know how fast the day goes. It is like blink and you miss it. And I was just reading on a Facebook forum today about photos that brides regretted that they didn't get. And there were so many brides on there saying they regretted, you know, these different shots that they didn't actually get because the day went too fast and things went out of control. And they'd missed important photos, like photos with their stepmom or individual photos with their bridesmaids and things like that. And it's true, like, if your hair and makeup's running late and we get there and we've only just got enough time to get pictures of you getting in your wedding dress, we don't have time to get the solo photos of you and your bridesmaids because we've got to get to the ceremony. So it all depends on the day running according to plan, according to time, and then us being able to step in. Even being able to say to your hair and makeup, like, guys, we need to have everyone finished now. Otherwise, we're going to have to skip some photos, you know, and that's about taking charge of the day. So you need a photographer that's confident to be able to do that.
So if you were picking a photographer now, say you're getting married next year or something, what would you do? Where would you start?
Well,
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I wouldn't actually start by looking at the photos because I feel like today a lot of the photos are very similar. I would probably more look at their social media. I would look at recommendations.
Google reviews.
I would talk to, probably because I would have locked in my celebrant, I'd ask my celebrant who they've worked with in the past that they really liked. I talked to my friends and other people that have been married who they used. I'd just do a lot of like research and talking and literally talk to them, talking on the phone, and just we're very big believers of each one teach one, help. Like, people will ring us and talk to us, they don't book us, that's okay. Still happy to help them, still happy to give out information about things they can do.
We've done like hour-long consultations and they've booked us.
So that's fine. Like, we don't have to be everyone's cup of tea, but we want to be your cup of tea if you booked us.
Yes.
So yeah, I would I'd probably look at reviews from past brides, and then I would also, but again, because I work in the industry, I would know a large part of the success of the day actually rests on me and how organised I am.
Yeah.
And
that's
doing my part of it.
That's our main strength.
Yeah.
Is we know how to run a wedding. We know how to get the best out of the day, don't we?
Yes. Yeah.
And we're very organised.
Yeah. And like, you want a photographer that's not going to go, okay, your 8 hours are up, I'm gone. Or, you know, be super. You want someone that's going to be part of the day, that fits in seamlessly, that makes people feel comfortable. I want someone that my friends and family could get along with. And just because then you get better photos.
Yeah. I like to think that when we walk in, say for getting ready photos, we know exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Exactly know our shots, where we're going to start, what we're going to do immediately.
Not just us, our team as well. We just finished a training session with 2 of our new team members, and
Lucha would be my head in line.
Yeah, no. And it's about now us teaching them how to do that. And so for us, being part of our team, a big part of that is personality, and then the other part of that is skill and a desire for excellence. It's such a fast-paced job, and it's a tough job. Like, if you brides are feeling tired at the end of the night, we're 10 times more tired.
Yes.
Because we're so much is going on in our head during the day, and there's so much adrenaline, and you've got to be able to manage that. So it's definitely not an easy job. It's not for the faint of heart. And I think, yeah.
So there's some tips for choosing a photographer, guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry we've rambled a bit, and please don't take this as us saying pick us, choose us, and we're not saying we're the best.
Yeah,
we're not.
We are the best. We're confident.
Stay humble.
Yeah, pick us.
I feel like
I'm going to say it.
I feel like we're good at what we do, but I also know that there's other heaps and heaps of amazing photographers out there, brilliant photographers, people that we've worked with.
No, not as good as us.
He's being sarcastic. You know, I could name a heap of photographers right now off the top of my head who I would happily send work to. Like, they're just beautiful people and beautiful photographers, and it's so awesome to be part of that community. Yeah,
It is.
Anyway, guys, we're going to go back to the cold, cold, cold office and shiver our way through some editing.
And you got Brittany's bridal.
Our Brittany is getting married
Yeah.
in almost exactly 30 days.
So you got to go to her.
I'm going to her bridal shower today.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
It's still a perfect
What's
day.
that?
Nice.
So if you are a future bride or you're looking at booking with us, please be patient with us over the next month. Britt's going to be going on honeymoon, and she is in the final stages of preparing her wedding. So Alex and I have picked up a bit of the admin again. And as we've already discussed, that maybe isn't always our strong suit. And we're going to be lost without her because she does an absolutely wonderful job. But we can't wait to do her wedding. And looks like we're going to have some more Hawthorn weddings coming up too. So we'll be excited to share those with you when and if they happen. You know, weddings are infectious, and pretty much we live and breathe weddings. Yeah. So I'm excited. I think it's fun. This is the first bridal shower I've been to in a long time. So
You're going to have a good day.
to it, yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. We're going to try and do another behind the scenes video soon.
Tell us if you like the behind the scenes. Tell us if you want a behind the scenes for your wedding. I know Penny and Mitch loved it. They were able to see their wedding from a different point of view.
Yeah, and they've still got their real video to come.
Video coming.
I'm going to go and work on that, actually.
Good job. Okay, guys. We'll see you next Thursday.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Ugh.